I was thinking earlier this week about the long fight. We get in long fights in criminal law. This was a case that I just finished up on Monday. The defendant was charged for about 2 years with attempted murder of her 1-year-old child. And when I looked back on it earlier this week, it occurred to me that a whole lot more pain and suffering had happened for everybody concerned than was really necessary. And I wondered, why was it that that happened? This was a situation, a bizarre situation for sure. But we had police reports early on that were describing video evidence. And those reports really exaggerated what had happened. Now, I don't know if the DAs looked at the videotapes closely enough early enough on, but from the start we just had a real difference of opinion. I thought the videotapes really showed that there was no intent to really harm that child, that really it had been a mistake, that at the worst it had been a misdemeanor child abuse. And the DA's office felt from the very start that it was absolutely a craven attempt at murdering this child. Never mind the fact that just exactly where that would have come from. What was the explanation for it? Why could it have even happened that way? But we butted heads for the better part of 2 years. And the rest of the family were incredibly upset about it. The amount of anxiety for my client and her family, the separation from her children for 2 years, the father of the children and his family, and the anger that just never really resolved in them, understandably on some level. But the long fight happened because the system didn't exactly work very well. The district attorney's office and our side, we went at it for a long time. Sure, we tried to convince each other of each position, but we really didn't approach any kind of a resolution. Put it on a trial calendar. It looked like we were going to have to go to a jury to get my client acquitted. And at the end of the day, maybe it was in trial prep, I really don't know. The district attorney's office took one good hard look at it, one last good hard look at it, and decided that they couldn't prove an intent to kill, that they couldn't prove that there was any kind of serious injury. There really wasn't any injury at all. And none of this is to say that a defense attorney's client has to be blameless. These long fights, sometimes they come just because there's a real difference of opinion about what the punishment should be. So it behooves us to get started early, to look at it, to talk to each side carefully from the start. Try to figure out where the middle ground is and pay close attention to what each other are saying. Maybe that fight wouldn't have been so long. I'm sure there wouldn't have been as much anxiety and difficulty for the people involved. At the end of the day, the client didn't go to jail, didn't go to prison for the years that they wanted in the first place. She suffered a penalty for sure. But I'm not sure that anybody really came out happy about the result. Maybe that's how it had to be, but I'm not sure it had to be drawn out as long as it was.